Have you ever had a gut feeling, a sudden certainty about a person or situation? That's your mind's autopilot at work. Now, think about the last time you slogged through a complex spreadsheet, checking every formula. Daniel Kahneman, Nobel laureate and psychologist, called these two processes System 1 and System 2. System 1 is fast, instinctive, and effortless. System 2 is slow, deliberate, and requires effort. Most of the time, we're passengers, with System 1 at the helm, making thousands of small decisions for us daily. Imagine your mind as an office. System 1 is the executive making snap judgments. System 2 is the analyst, crunching numbers. The problem? The executive often acts without consulting the analyst, leading to predictable errors. Kahneman's insight: become an observer of your own thoughts. By doing so, you gain the power to pause, question, and make better decisions. This is the journey of thinking fast and slow, understanding the quiet, invisible world inside your mind. Let's dive in. System 1 is your brain's autopilot, fast, automatic, and always on. It lets you recognize faces, read emotions, and make snap judgments without effort. In business, it's the gut feeling a manager gets about a new recruit based on subtle cues and years of experience. System 1 excels at pattern recognition and quick decisions, but it takes shortcut heuristics that can lead us astray. When faced with a tough question, it often substitutes an easier one. Is this a good investment? Becomes, do I like the presenter? This is why we fall for a good story, even when the facts don't add up. System 1 creates the first draft of our reality, impressions, feelings, and beliefs. The danger? We often accept this first draft without question, because challenging it takes effort. To make better decisions, we must learn to spot when System 1 is in charge and be ready to question its story. Don't let your autopilot fly solo. System 2 is your brain's slow, deliberate problem solver. It's what you use to solve tough math problems, plan projects, or analyze complex data. System 2 requires focus and effort. It's the mental strain you feel when you're really thinking. In the workplace, System 2 is essential for tasks that demand logic, planning, and self-control. It's the system that lets you override impulsive reactions and respond thoughtfully. But System 2 is lazy. It tires quickly and often rubber stamps System 1 suggestions. When you're mentally drained, you're more likely to make snap judgments and mistakes. The challenge is knowing when to engage. System 2, when a quick answer isn't enough and you need to slow down. Effective thinking isn't just about having a strong System 2, but knowing when to use it. Force your inner analyst to double-check the executive's bold claims. Don't let mental fatigue dictate your decision. Recognize the moments that require real effort and rise to the challenge. That's how you avoid costly errors. The dance between System 1 and System 2 shapes every business decision. In brainstorming sessions, System 1 fires off creative ideas. When it's time to choose, System 2 steps in for critical analysis. Great teams know when to let intuition flow and when to slow down for careful evaluation. But System 1 often dominates, especially when a charismatic leader or a compelling story is involved. Take a CEO impressed by a founder's pitch. System 1 is sold, and that initial feeling can bias the entire due diligence process. This is the halo effect. Positive first impressions color all subsequent judgments. The result? Overconfidence, missed risks, and strategic blunders. True leadership means knowing when your intuition is likely to be biased and having the discipline to engage System 2. Don't let fast thinking make the final call on big decisions. Balance creativity with analysis. Recognize when to switch gears. That's the art of wise management. Make the dance work for you. System 1 loves cognitive ease. When information is simple, familiar, and easy to process, it feels true. A clear, catchy slogan or a well-designed presentation can seem more convincing than a complex, jargon-filled report, even if the latter is more accurate. This is the illusion of truth. If it feels easy, it feels right. Repetition and familiarity breed trust, regardless of actual merit. In business, ideas, repeated often in meetings, gain credibility even without evidence. Confident, fluent speakers create cognitive ease. Careful, thoughtful ones may be unfairly dismissed. The danger? We mistake comfort for correctness. When a decision feels too easy, pause. Ask, is this right or just easy? Engage System 2. Question the story, not just the style. Don't let ease fool you. System 1's shortcut heuristic help us function, but they also create predictable biases. The anchoring effect, the first number you hear in a negotiation sets the tone, even if it's arbitrary. We see 80 what you see is all there is. System 1 builds stories from limited information, ignoring what's missing. This leads to overconfidence and poor decisions. The availability heuristic, we judge risks and probabilities by what's most vivid or recent in our memory, not by actual data. A dramatic story or recent success can overshadow steady, reliable performance. These biases are hardwired and affect every professional judgment. The solution? Use checklists and formal processes to force System 2 to consider what System 1 overlooks. Don't trust your first impression. Ask what you might be missing. Outsmart your own mind. Knowing about the two systems is just the start. Here's how to use that knowledge. First, slow down. For big decisions, resist your gut and give System 2 time to work. Use waiting periods for major hires or investments. Second, think like an outsider. Try the premortem. Imagine your project has failed and ask why. This legitimizes doubt and surfaces hidden risks. Third, always check the base rate, what usually happens in similar situations. Don't be seduced by a compelling story. Finally, use checklists and algorithms for repeatable decisions. They force consistency and reduce bias. Build guardrails that protect you from your own intuition. These habits embed System 2 thinking into your workflow. Better decisions aren't about being smarter. They're about being more disciplined. Make your mind work for you, not against you. At its core, thinking fast and slow is about humility. The two-system framework reveals we're not as rational as we think. Disagreements often stem from one person's intuition versus another's analysis. Intuition is only reliable in predictable environments with lots of feedback, like firefighting, not investing. Be skeptical of your own confidence. Certainty is a feeling, not a fact. Framing matters. How choices are presented shapes decisions even when facts are identical. To make better choices, reframe problems and look past emotional triggers. Improving decisions isn't about raw intelligence, but self-awareness and discipline. Know when to distrust your first impression and when to slow down. Be vigilant. Supervise your own automatic thoughts. How can you apply these ideas today? Start by observing your two systems in action. Label your gut reactions as System 1. Notice the strain of System 2. When a decision feels easy, treat it as a red flag. Question your comfort. Write down reasons your gut might be wrong. Force System 2 to engage. Make "What are we missing?" a standard question in team decisions. Assign a devil's advocate to challenge consensus and surface blind spots. Protect your mental energy. Schedule tough tasks when you're fresh. Don't waste System 2 on trivialities. Kahneman's gift is understanding, not tricks. Embrace these lessons to become a wiser, more patient decision maker.